Hello everyone, I'm ImKibitz and welcome back to Satisfactory, where we are continuing to work towards adaptive control units, our final space elevator part. But we have a huge task before us to make that happen. Because you see, like any factory, we have a bit of an order of operations. We have the extraction of materials, which we have figured out and completed. Then we have the transport of all the materials, the logistics, which is also now done with all the trucks and trains. Then we have the refining of materials, which we have a good start on. And then there's finally going to be the manufacturing, where things get a little bit more crazy. And our big problem that we're dealing with is that we are really held up still on the refining part of the system. So I want all of it done today, where we'll refine the rest of the iron we need to, get all the copper online, and most importantly, deal with Caterium. And all in today, we're gonna have to build about 400 smelters and refineries to do all that. So it's gonna be a healthy amount of progress. Speaking of, if you wanna keep yourself healthy, you should check out today's sponsor, Factor. Factor delivers fresh, ready-made meals to your door that are designed by dietitians to help you reach your health goals. Now, it's always been difficult starting a new meal plan, but having delicious, ready-made meals delivered right to you makes it way easier. And when everything's ready when you are, there won't be as much temptation to get takeout either. And as we get into the warmer months of the year, there's gonna be lots of opportunities to eat unhealthily or just straight up junk food. So if you wanna help yourself look and feel your best, definitely check out Factor. So sign up today, either by using my link in the description, or go to go.factor75.com and use code ImKibitz 50 for 50% off your first box. And again, use my link or go to go.factor75.com and use code ImKibitz 50 for 50% off your first box. And thank you, Factor, for sponsoring this video. Getting back into things though, before we get too crazy with refineries, let's finish up what we already started and deal with the rest of the iron we're bringing in. This here is bringing in 1,200 iron per minute. And how we've been going about processing is we've just been making blueprints, throwing them down wherever they'll fit really, then somehow dodging all of the infrastructure to get the belts where they need to go. And so far so good. It's not that difficult because we don't have a lot built. But as this project progresses, things will get a little bit more weird as we run out of space and have to make creative solutions. But for now, the iron is dealt with, and we can move on to Caterium next. Now this is where things get interesting, because we need a lot of Caterium, like 3,800 Caterium ore to make about 1,600 ingots per minute. Now we have all the Caterium, sure, but we need about, 150 of these to actually process it into ingots. And we're gonna be using, of course, the pure Caterium ingot recipe, which needs water, which we also have from on top of the waterfall. The fun part is figuring out where to build all the refineries, because like I was saying earlier, we're gonna run out of space eventually, so we kind of want to tuck these big boys somewhere convenient. Like maybe down here, something like that. But then you might be seeing the other problem, wherein we can't put all the refineries just in one happy spot. Because of how weirdly I've done the terrain around here, there's just gonna be refineries dotted all over the place. And we're not gonna be able to truck down like 200 in one go as we usually do. But personally, I'm all for it. This project was made to be interesting, and this will for sure make things very interesting. I guess the first thing is though, we have a pure Caterium node up there. So how many refineries do we need specifically for this one node? Well, each refinery takes 24 ingots, okay. So 780 divided by 24 is, haha, big number. So this is how I'm gonna go about it then. We're just gonna pick a random spot. We're gonna set one refinery down kind of as a marker, and then it'll just blast down a bunch of blueprints beside it until we run out of space in the area we're building. And in this first little spot, how many do we got here? Not a lot. We need 32 and a half, and we have 13. Okay. We will see at the end of the day if we end up actually overclocking, because that is not a lot, and we are going to need this space. Just wait until you see how many constructors we have to build. All right. Also, we want to paint everything black so it matches. So I've made a new blueprint to actually work with this. That way everything will be color-coded the same as the rest of the factory area. Anyway though, how many did we fit up here? 7. So now we have 20. And so we can have some of the smokestacks from the refineries spread out. We're gonna go a little further out to here and see if we can build a couple more. And at the end of the day, we also might overclock a couple of these guys. I've been typically avoiding overclocking in this project because I want things to look cool and all that jazz. These guys are just so chunky. Now we may have to. Or we just get so close to the amount we need that we may as well. Like we have 29 refineries out of the 32 and a half we need. Like sure, we can throw a couple power shards in a few of these. So with all these built now, bringing in the ore itself is gonna be just fine. We'll just have an overflow system of the ore going into each of these parts. And then the water, how much water exactly do we need again? Each of these takes 24 per minute. Which means we're gonna need 780 water. How delightfully annoying considering our best pipe can only handle 600 fluids per minute, right? But at the end of the day, it'll add to the chaos going on everywhere. So that's pretty good. So we have to bring, I suppose, 2 pipes all the way over that way, right? I guess we'll just randomly start to build them here. Let's make this our, sure, we'll make it standard. And then hopefully we can just bring the pipes down this way and we dodge most things. No, there's still the rail lines. All right, so every so often we're gonna have to build some infrastructure towers to bring the pipes above all the stuff we've built. So we'll have a little bit of a crossing here, going over to the road too. I'll lead over to here. That's gonna look a little weird, but what are you gonna do? Then that will then go over to here, and around this area, that's where we'll connect up with our main pipeline. So we have all the water we need to. It's all come down this way. Have to split it up over there. And you know what? While I'm looking over there, this space looks like it'd be perfect for even more of these. Sometimes you just get the eye for this kind of stuff. At the end of the day, if I see an opportunity, you better believe I'm gonna take it. At least until we run out of materials. Oh my gosh. Man, I wish we were an update 8 so I could just undo all this, but we're not. Okay, well, I'm gonna reload an old save, and then we'll kind of pipe all this stuff together. Okay, everything's fixed, everything's fine. No need to panic anymore. I also moved around all of the refineries from way over there too, just so that things worked out a little bit better. Also, my intuition wanted to put the refineries here for good reason, because these 2 trucks are Caterium trucks. So since everything was right here and we had the 1200 Caterium, I decided to do a little bit of the belt work here. And this is just how it looks. It's like just normal overflow kind of stuff. One belt goes into this system, a little bit of overflow into another system down there, some overclocking like I thought we'd have to do. And overall, it looks really cool. I really like the black and gold kind of look too. Water pipes, not so much, but what are you gonna do at some point? You gotta do what you gotta do. So that's all done. The belt work for the area over there is gonna take only a second, and we already have a pretty good plan in place for the pipes. So with just a little bit of building, the first set of refineries is complete. It's just a little bit annoying with that 780 water per minute thing we have to deal with, but overall could have been a lot worse. And having this stroke of blue crossing our entire world here is looking really, really cool. Especially for when things all turn black because we build like 1,000 constructors here. Or heck, even with the rest of the refineries we still have to build, because we're only halfway there, wow! And with the rest of the water, I'm gonna bring it all the way over to the other side of the map so we can spread some of those beautiful blue pipes around. And what a fantastic idea this was. Look at all these pipes going all over the place. It's crazy, it's wild, I love it. And better yet, we're done with Caterium ingots. At least until we get to quickwire, but that's a whole nother story. Oh wait, and we also need copper for that. But copper's not gonna be a big deal though. We have more than enough of it here. So we don't need to go as crazy with it as we have with other projects. And we can just have a bit of fun here. Even more fun is that I actually have a little bit of extra water from the whole Caterium project. For aesthetic reasons, I brought more water than I needed from on top of the cliff there, so we can mess around a little bit. And I think that's what we're gonna do. Now we could just smelt all of the copper into copper ingots. We 100% have enough copper for that. But for funsies, we're going to use the pure copper recipe so we can build some more refineries. Because I want to try our hand at one of our first little creative builds. Like I was saying earlier, we're gonna have to just find space later on for most things, and systems are not gonna look very clean, quote unquote, but I think it'll be really fun to build. We're gonna try and set up a bunch of refineries in this space here. I think it'll be pretty neat because when we're walking around this area, we can see some smokestacks, a bunch of stuff going on beneath us, and there's gonna be a bunch of height variation to add in a little bit of detail as well. Truck, what are you doing? Oh my gosh. Sorry, building with trucks has been one of the best things ever, man. They're always doing something goofy. Back to this though. Yeah, we have to build a lot of refineries in order to make the copper ingots here. But say we have a pure node, and each refinery needs 15 ore. That means we need 52 refineries. So to fit everything in here, we're gonna have to do a lot of overclocking, but hey, it'll look cool. So let's just go for it, bud. We'll start by building some refineries in the tighter areas down here. And as we build like across from roads and stuff like that, we'll try and follow kind of the patterns as older systems. So overall, it looks like things kind of make sense. But of course, since we need so many, wherever we get the opportunity to spam, oh bud, we spam. And already here, the vision is really starting to come together. And this is really what I'm looking for with this entire build. Just organized chaos. Add in a couple walkways around here too, maybe a few signs, and oh, it's gonna be so neat. Oh man though, the belts are crazy, the pipes whack, but it all kind of makes sense. And of course, it works. So now we have all of the copper here, and all we need is like 4,000 more. And so at the end of the day, I just ended up refining a lot more of it, just because we had the extra water here. And then to finish things up, I just brought the rest into a bunch of smelters. Now with that, we are done refining. And next time we can get started on manufacturing. Oh, but wait! I forgot about something pretty mission critical here. We still need to deal with the concrete. Oh, I don't really want to do this, but man, I need my strength for when we have to deal with the wire. All right, concrete. What is the ratio with concrete again? It's something stupid. 45 to 15, yikes. How much concrete do we need? The notes say 2,400 concrete. So that's like ×3 for limestone. We need 7,200 limestone? I don't think so. Like even in this biome we're in, there's not enough limestone, right? There's a lot of them for sure, but not 7,200. Oh my gosh, how did I forget about this? It's kind of bad, but also it's kind of okay because although I forgot about that, we do happen to have a lot of extra rubber. And, you know, we could do something a little crazy. We could go and use the rubber concrete recipe, which I would never recommend to anybody. But in this very specific scenario, why not? And running the numbers here, we need 2,400 concrete itself, divided by 45, divided by 45. That's 53 constructors. It's not bad. 53 times 50 times 50 is 2,650 limestone. That's like what, 3 pure nodes-ish? Something like that? No problem. And that'd only be a little over 500 rubber. Yeah, that is I want to say that's fine, but that's kind of our only option here. So you know what? Let's go for it. We'll make a new assembler blueprint with this recipe already in it, because why not? Now back to figuring out where we want to build everything. Do we build all of the assemblers by the rubber? Nah, I don't know. Or hey, look at this random pit here. This is gonna work perfectly. Oh yeah, sure, bud. That's great. And we just need to build like 50 of these systems down here. We can make this work, right? Oh my gosh, actually, I think it will. And very well too. It's actually kind of easy to fit everything in here. So that's fine. Just the usual fetch quest of getting all the concrete is gonna be another thing. Or not! Because we're using this rubber recipe, we don't really need a lot of limestone. So I just grabbed all the limestone from these trains here and brought them on over. And this all, plus a little more, will make this entire system work flawlessly. Eventually. It's overloaded out the wazoo, as in like, just belts are going everywhere. And it's gonna take a long time to run efficiently, but I think it looks cool and it will work, I'm sure. At the end of the day, everything goes underneath the highway here, and I have to weirdly kind of fill these boxes. And essentially, we're gonna have 3 780 lines and then a 60 line of concrete. And that's it. Of course, that is with the caveat of this all working, which is always fun to find out. The concrete though is all hooked up, so that's no problem. And the only other thing is to get the rubber and see what happens. Imagine, all of this just works first try. This actually, let's just get rid of that for now too. And see this all enter the system. So the top layer is the limestone, bottom layer is going to be the rubber, and that's all we need. I've balanced out the system decently, so no lines should get overloaded. And if this is all hooked up correctly, all of the belts over here, these 4, should end up with material on them. There's 1. Okie doke, there's 2. 3, where's this one? Wake up. Oh wait, what the heck? That one's 3rd? Really? What's going on with this belt? Is it just like, oh, of course, the second I look away, then it runs. But overall, end of the day, all of the belts are active, meaning things are actually hooked up, and I'll just have to look for tiny little errors that I'm sure are lurking. That'll take a lot of time. So instead, for now, I think we're gonna call it here. So remember to check out that first link in the description to get that deal with Factor. And until next time, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye-bye.